Hello, everyone. This is Kyle Galaz with Poor2Pro Car Sales Training Podcast. Become a sales titan. We're getting to the end of season 7. It's been a great season. I love doing these episodes for you guys and girls out there. Salespeople getting better every single day, leveling up their game, leveling up their skill, and going into work with confidence. Even if you're a new hire or someone that's been in the car business a long time, knowledge is power. And the more skills you can have in the car business, the better your career feels. And you have that confidence to walk in knowing that I have the sales tools to make car deals today. Move out of my way. I've clocked in. Let's get to work. And I appreciate your guys' support. Please share the podcast with somebody you love out there, someone that you know could benefit from, some sales training. A lot of dealerships struggle to train their salespeople, and this is why I'm doing the podcast. This is why I'm doing these episodes, because I want us to be equipped with the tools of the professionals and get to that next level. Because guess what? You don't want to get in the car business and make average money. No one says, hey, I want to get in the car business and make $3 to $4 grand. It's my dream to be average. No, we get in the car business to be professionals. We get in the car business to be exceptional and outstanding and have accolades and win trophies and make giant paychecks. That's why we got in the car business. We got in the car business to have nice things. We got in the car business to not be struggling. We got in the car business because guess what? We grew up poor. We were trying to hustle when we were little. We were trying to make ends meet as a kid, getting the new shoes and not wearing high waters to school. We were high water pants, you know what I mean? There's a flood coming, Kyle. This is the kind of stuff that I want for your children to not have to go through. This is the kind of stuff I want your families to not have to go through, and they can be leveled up too, because guess what? If you're the head of the house and you're out there hustling and you're doing everything you can, they succeed too. And isn't it a rewarding feeling when someone in your family, mom, brother, sister, kids, wives, husbands, look up to you and say, wow, I'm so proud of you. You've done so well. Thank you. It's a great feeling, and this is where training comes in. So any of you Poor2Pro family members out there, make sure you share the podcast. Please leave a comment on this episode and show some love. And I love reading your comments. And please follow me on Facebook, Kyle Galaz, KYLEGALAZ. I want to see some follows and some friend requests right now. Click it, pause it, and go to that and do it right now. So let's get into this episode, Season 7, Episode 9. Season 7, Episode 9. Let me say that again. Make more money with down payment. Now, when I started in the car business back in 2003, February, my sales manager, part of my training, albeit short training, said, Kyle, the more down payment you can get, the more money you can make. And my fresh green pea mind at 20 years old in the car business couldn't understand the concept. And I remember going home that night thinking, what the heck is he talking about? The more down payment I get, the more money I make. We don't keep the down payment. It literally goes on the contract. It's accounted for. And I remember being confused that night at the house, and I think even the next day, and I was too scared to ask. I just, yep, down payment, I'll get it, don't worry, I remember thinking about it a lot. And when I was thinking about my next episode, I thought, you know what, it may be simple, something to go over that's simple is down payment, but there's still techniques to learn in asking for down payment, and there's still a psychological war that goes on when asking for down payment. And it gives a salesperson the power at the desk when negotiating when you have a fat down payment on that paperwork. Because guess what? The customer will instantly forget about price for the most part, because holy moly, they don't have that much down. Now it's a negotiation of, well, I don't have that much down. They forgot about the price. This is another reason why we make more money. But we're going to go over a few items of how we make more money by getting more down payment. It's going to be a rapid fire episode, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Take some notes, because there's some spots where I want you to write down maybe some verbiages or listen to it over and over. So first, let's talk about how getting more down payment makes more money. If you're financing a vehicle, the vehicle has to be in line with what the banks will actually finance. If you're selling a vehicle that's worth $20,000 and you're asking $30,000, banks don't like that. So the only way to make up that difference of what the bank will actually finance versus what you're asking for the vehicle is money. And you have to get into a area that the bank says, okay, we're going to finance this amount on this particular VIN number with this amount of miles. Well, the difference if you're over that amount is down payment, or you got to lower your price. What does lowering your price do to your paycheck? Anyone? Raise your hand. Bueller? Let me guess. It lowers our income. If I cut back someone's deal to match a bank approval, if I have to cut back the price for one of my sales guys for a bank approval, they just made less money. I just made less money. If I have to lower the interest rate, I was trying to hold a point or two on the interest rate because I'm trying to get to a customer's payment that they're trying to afford, we all make less money. When it could all be solved with down payment. By asking for one simple thing can solve our problems when trying to make more money. So, more money down equals lower payments, right? Think about that. I want to be at $450. The customer wants to be at $450, and we come back with $525. You're either going to have to bump the customer up on that payment. Let's say they're stuck at $450. Well, what could make the difference there? I either have to give up gross, lower the interest rate, go longer term, or you get more money down, or get some money down. Because a lot of times, if a customer wants to be at $450, we're at $525, you get a couple grand down, we're at $462, they're signing for it. So down payment can solve a lot of problems. It can solve the problem of getting a customer financed. It can solve the problem of getting the customer to what they actually want to pay in the payment. And it can save the money that the dealership would have to give up to hit to that payment that the customer wanted. Because no customer ever says, I want to be at $450 a month on a $10,000 car, right? You get me to $450, I'll take the car. No one says that on $10,000. They start saying that around $20,000 and $30,000 though. You're looking at a $28,000 car. Yeah, if you get me to $450, we know that something has to give if you want to be at $450 on a $30,000 car, because we still have tax and doc. That thing out the door is $33,000 to $34,000, and you want to be at $450 and you say you have questionable credit. That's where money comes in. Money down comes in at that point, because now we can get closer to that customer's payment they want to be without giving up the money that we have in our car deal. So next time you're working a car deal and you're with the customer, remember these things. I got to ask for down payment. Now, what do you ask for as down payment? Your system may have a automatic down payment printed on the worksheet. But if it doesn't, you still got to figure out what the customer actually has, because you can put anything on that sheet. Okay, 5,000 down, 8,000 down, 10,000, 12,000. The customer may not have any of that. So what we're asking for versus what the customer can actually put are two different things. So this is what I would say at my desk when I was a salesperson when asking for down payment. And this is something that you can jot down to help with yourself getting that down payment and not feeling awkward about it, or it's some weird thing that you got to bring up. So I go through my numbers. I say, now the banks usually ask for 10 to 20% down on a $20,000 vehicle. That's a minimum of $2,000 down. What can you put? And you just wait for the response. Well, we could put $2,000. Then I would follow up with this question, because every once in a while you get a customer that says we can put $2,000, but they don't have that money right now. They're waiting for a paycheck. They're hoping to borrow some from grandma. So by asking for the money and then them saying, yeah, we can do it, and then all of a sudden they want to think about it, that could have been the issue. So my follow-up question, once I got the number out of them, would be this. Now, the $2,000 that you're going to put down that we just agreed on, that's not something that we got to wait on, or it's going to come out of your bills you got to pay, or food out of the baby's mouth, things like that. That's money that's good for right now that you can put as down payment without hurting any other bills. Yep, that's what we can do, Kyle. Perfect. That's what I'm going to put down on my paperwork and credit app, because I wanted to make sure that I didn't ask for more money than they actually have, because sometimes customers are embarrassed to say they don't have any money down. So they just say a number, and then all of a sudden they want to think about it when the whole deal was going perfect up until that down payment. But if I don't ask for the down payment, I don't ever get the down payment. So we have to still ask for it, because the down payment solves a lot of problems when it comes to the payment that they're actually wanting versus what they got approved for. Me having to cut back the deal to get to their payment. No, they want to do zero down, but they want to be at $450. Well, guess where that money has to come from? It comes from the salesperson. It comes from the dealership, and we make less money when we don't ask for that down payment. Now, another thing I would tell customers when they would maybe had a weird face they made when I asked for down payment. I said, now, this money doesn't go to La La Land. It doesn't go to the dealership's pockets. This money comes back to you in a lower payment form and less interest paid. So your down payment actually grows when you put it down in a car loan. Now, unless it was 0%, that's not true. If it's 0%, their down payment doesn't grow over time. But if you put $2,000 down on a 7.9% rate, do the math, pull up a calculator. That $2,000 down has grown quite a bit in less interest paid for them and a lower payment. So, Mr. Customer, I just want you to know, when you put $2,000 down, you're actually paying yourself back more money by less interest paid and a lower amount finance. Plus, you don't have to go, 84 months to get to the payment you want to go to. So I can see you earlier when you want to trade it in. Because guess what? If you put customers out on 84 months when you could have asked for down payment and put them out on 60 months or 72 months, you get to see them earlier in the buying cycle. And customers want to trade in every 2 to 3 years. So guess what? If you put someone on an 84-month term and you see them walk in 2 years, you're screwed. Especially if they didn't put any money down. You know that it's going to be an uphill battle, and they're going to blame you and not themselves for them being 15 grand flipped and wanting the same payment on the next car. So when it comes to down payment, we have to ask for it. The key is asking for it. And if a customer says, well, I don't want to put any money down, I want to do zero, you need to stop. Instead of just getting right up and telling your boss, no, they want to do zero down, sit there and talk with them about it. Be a professional. Say, well, the only reason why banks require and we suggest putting down payment are for these reasons. First, it helps get to the payment you want to achieve. Second, you pay less interest over that course of time because you're financing less amount. And third, if you want to trade in earlier, you owe that much less, so your trade cycle could be quicker. And you never know what they might say. That might ring true to them, and they might say, okay, let's do $2,500 down, right? They were hoping to do zero, but you talked some sense into them. Now that $2,500 down when you go work your car deal may be the difference between us having to cut the price down to get to their payment versus the $2,500 gets them to their payment. And here's what happens a lot of times. Let's do zero down. Okay, Mr. Boss, they want to do zero down. Okay, boom, 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 boom. They type it in. They get the approval. Payment's $538. Okay, it's $538. Well, they wanted to be at $450. Can we do anything to get to $450? Instantly, you're losing money in your car deal. So you go back, payment's $438, Mr. Customer. No, I said I wanted to be at $450. You get me to $450, I'll take the car deal. Now you go back to your boss, and you have this back and forth thing going on, and the only people losing is the dealership at that point. The customer has the power now. They have an approval at $538. They want to be at $450. Now it's your job to get them to $450. When, if we would have asked for the down payment before we started that process and got it out of the customer, we would already be at $450 or $460 or $470 instead of $538. So remember that when you're helping a customer out, I need down payment. Make it a part of your professional career is asking for down payment, and you're going to see it work magic for you when it comes to trying to achieve their payment, trying to get an approval. We know that tough credit customers need down payment. When you have a 520 credit score, say they want to do zero down and they're upside down $3,000 in your trade, what's our chances of getting a clean deal without having to cut back the deal? Pretty slim, right? But if you can say, hey, do you got any down payment? Well, we don't. Can you borrow money from somebody? We need down payment. We need $3,000 down, because that $3,000 down might save your deal, might get you that much better of an approval, and you may not have to cut back the deal to get that approval. There's no fun when you work on a car deal for 7 hours trying to get someone approved and you get a mini voucher when we could have asked for the down payment. Well, I don't have any down payment. Who do you know in your family that could loan you some money for a down payment? Just tell them in your bind. Well, Grandma said that she would help. Well, let's put Grandma on speakerphone. Hey, Grandma, it's Kyle over at ABC Motors. How you doing? Oh, I'm doing great. Okay, hey, I got Sydney here, and she's trying to get a vehicle. She's obviously a hard worker. She's a great granddaughter and a great person. And what we're trying to do is get an approval that she can afford, because the last thing I want to have happen is me get her approved on a car deal and her not be able to afford the payment, right? She's got kids and a car seat and all this, and I don't want that to happen. I don't feel comfortable selling her a vehicle at a high payment. Now, what we're asking Mrs. Grandma is to see if you can help with some down payment. Now, the bank is going to ask for 10 to 20% down. That's between $3,000 and $6,000 down, and we're hoping Grandma can come through with one of those special black cards that's made of metal and help us get that down payment. What's that? You can do 3? Okay, let me get the card number, and once I get the approval, we'll run. Is that okay, Grandma? I appreciate you. I'll send you a Christmas card. Love you, Grandma. Okay, bye. Obviously, it's fun and theatrical, but I've done it. I've done it because I want to find a way to make a car deal. Now, if I didn't get the $3,000 from Grandma and the bank said, hey, you need $3,000 from somewhere, and we didn't call and make Grandma pay it, guess who has to pay it? The dealership. We got to lower the price $3,000. We may not even have $3,000 to make that deal, but let's say we do. How much did that just cost you when you calculate your commission percentage? How much does $3,000 cost you when we could have got it from Grandma? We could have got it from Uncle Charlie, right? He's been bedridden for 20 years. No, that's Uncle Joe, Grandpa Joe, Willy Wonka. That's a bad reference, but I'm moving on. But you just got to find a creative way to get that down payment. I hope you understand kind of what I wish I was told when I first started. I wish my manager sat me down and said, Kyle, this is why more down payment makes you more money. Let me break it down for you and actually train you, not just tell you and let you be confused for 3 months. Let me tell you why. Because knowledge is power. And the more knowledge we have in the car business, the more power we have and more confidence we have. It sure feels good when you've mastered something, mastered an instrument, mastered a sport, mastered something, extracurricular. Whatever you do outside, it's nice to master something. It's never fun to be good at a lot of things, but a master of none. How about we master what pays our bills? How about we master what feeds our families? And that's the car business. And how about we start by mastering little sections of the car business? Because guess what? If you noticed over the last 70 plus episodes of this podcast, is all the little things are what add up. There's not one magical arrow that you shoot and you make a bunch of money in the car business. It's having tools in each step of the sale, even having the right tools when it comes to down payment, even having the right tools when it comes to working the customer for down payment and on the desk and on the paperwork and with the banks. All these little things add up. And when you have those tougher customers that have really bad credit, if you can get 20 to 30% down with somebody that has a 490 or 520 score, you probably got a car deal. It's down payment is the magical resource that makes car deals. And if they say I don't have money, don't just get up and say zero down, boss. Fight for it. Figure a way out. We need something down. Do you have an old trade-in that you could drive here? Oh yeah, I got an old beater. Okay, there's $500 or there's $250. Okay, I was looking to get rid of it anyway. Get creative on how to get money down, because the more money you can get down, the more money you can make. It works magic, and just master it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please share this episode. Please book a one-on-one. Let's get you on season 8. If you don't want to be on season 8 and you just want to book a one-on-one, because not everyone wants to be, on the podcast scene around the world, but if you just want to book a one-on-one and level up your game, DM me. Find me on Facebook. Find me on Instagram, Poor2Pro _Car Sales Training on Instagram, and Kyle Galaz on Facebook. Friend me, follow me, connect with me. I love hearing from everybody. I love hearing your success stories, and I love hearing your challenges. I really do. And any time you guys message me, I don't think I've missed one message unless it went to some weird request or spam. I don't think I've missed one message that a fan or a listener or somebody that needed help messaged me and me not respond. Always, I'm here for you 100%, and I'll always be here for you. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Kyle Galaz signing out.